¿Estamos listos? ¿Estamos al aire? Me parece que sí. ¿Estamos listos acá? No sé.
Estamos al aire.
Estamos al aire. Hola, ¿qué tal? Un saludo muy especial. A warm welcome from Cartagena de Indias, Colombia. My name is Nestor Melendez, and we are very happy to have you here. And we're going to invite you to come to Cartagena de Indias, Colombia, and to recommend you this vacation spot, one of the finest spots on the whole Caribbean, where you're going to have and you're going to enjoy many historical sites, because Cartagena is a worldwide heritage site declared by the UNESCO since 1984. But also, you're going to enjoy here in Cartagena very nice beaches. And if you want to go to the islands, well, we have the Islas del Rosario and the Islas de San Bernardo del Viento. So this location is just 2.5 hours away from Miami International Airport, MIA, and around 4 hours from New York City. If you're coming from anywhere in the United States, you get connections through Avianca, through Delta, and through American Airlines that has a bunch of planes coming into Cartagena, because it is now one of the most important destinations in the whole Caribbean. With the production of Estefania Melendez and Brian Camilo, my name is Nestor Melendez, and we want to talk to you about coming and planning your next vacation here in Cartagena. I'm a professional tour guide here in the city of Cartagena. We attend many shore excursions from the cruise ships, also private tours from the most important hotels of the city, and also for some travelers that want to know more about my country, Colombia. I am also a journalist, a Colombian journalist, and as you may see, I'm also a content creator. So remember to subscribe to our channel if you want more information about Colombia, Colombian tours. Make sure to do the subscription thing. And let's go to see about Cartagena de Indias. I'm going to tell you, Cartagena was, the Bay of Cartagena was discovered in 1501 by the Spanish conquistadores. But then in 1509, they come over here, they try to settle here, but they are very well received by the indigenous tribes who killed many Spaniards. Like they say, like 70 Spaniards were killed at those times. It was till 1533 when Cartagena was founded then by the Spanish conquistador Pedro de Heredia. They were looking for the gold, guys. I'm going to tell you, one of the things is that they were looking to rescue gold. So they were at the Dominican Republic, right there in the center of the Caribbean, what it was called the island of La Española, at what is today Santo Domingo in the Dominican Republic. So they were asking the indigenous tribes over there, hey guys, tell me, where does that gold you have comes from? And they started signaling where the gold came from. Obviously, they showed the territory of what is today Colombia, because, well, you know, Colombia is known as maybe the land where El Dorado is. Remember, El Dorado is yet to be discovered, but it might be here in Colombia. My name is Nestor Melendez. This is Colombian Tours, and you're watching our channel because you want to come to Cartagena and you want to book our private tours. If you would like to have one of my private tours here in Cartagena de Indias or all across Colombia, you just go on, have a coffee with me. We can have a talk to see what you want to do. Just give me a comment on the comment section, and for sure, we will be giving you all the information to have private tours here in Colombia. So I'm telling you about the Bay of Cartagena that you're watching right there in the middle, with an island in the middle and two entrances. One of the entrances is the Boca Grande, the big mouth, and the other entrance is the Boca Chica. Boca Chica means small mouth. And that's where the Spanish said, hey, this looks really cool, this entrance over here. But the city had something special also. It had a bay within a bay. And also have something that we Colombians, before I thought this was a slang word, but actually it's not a slang word. It's how we call, you know, where we hide things from our mother or whatever, or from anyone, we call it la caleta. But actually, la caleta is like Shakespeare in English, very old words that only Shakespeare remembers, or you'll remember because of Shakespeare. So something that happened with caleta in Colombian slang is where you hide things. Okay? Yeah, everybody hides things at the caleta. Cartagena geographically had a caleta, which means in English a cove, like a very far away into a bay place where very difficult to get there, surrounded by mangroves with two very big mountains, one called La Popa and one other called El Cerro de San Lázaro, where they then made the Castillo de San Felipe de Barajas, one of the main fortifications of the Spanish, or the biggest fortification the Spanish Empire did here in the Caribbean. Well, and it's here in the Colombian Caribbean, in Cartagena de Indias. You go on. This guy, Pedro de Heredia, this was the founder of the city. Just before, I'm going to do some mathematics here. Maybe you can help me out. But let me show you this. I'm reading this book. This is Breve Historia de Cartagena, look, by Eduardo Lemaitre. So we're going to be talking about this book, and we were going to be having some information from this book. Let me use my glasses because, I got to read a little bit. So I want to be, I'm going to translate at the same time. So I just want to be okay. Look, the guy came over here. We're talking about 1533, okay? Then they said, excursionó luego el gobernador Heredia por las proximidades del río Magdalena. In excursion, the governor Heredia went by the proximities of the Magdalena River. And after, y después de un largo recorrido, acumuló enorme botín. And after a very long journey, he accumulated, or he got a very big botín. Botín, how do you call botín? Well, a lot of goods, a lot treasure. Of a very big treasure. Thanks. Thank you very much, Estefania. She's translating on the other part. Especially, okay, lesson to this. It's incredible. They got a puercoespín de oro macizo que pesaba más de 60 kilogramos y que era adorado en el templo de la población de Zipagua. Okay, he got a big gold, 24 carats, totally full gold pork spin that weighed more than 60 kilograms. 60 kilograms of gold, guys, of gold. Okay, let's make the equation. Right now, the kilo of gold should be around $600,000. So these guys found on the first journey, like, oh, look at this. A big porcupine, un porcoespín. Solid gold, guys. Solid gold. You know how much money, today's money? Okay, I'm not very good at mathematics. I think anyone here is not very good at mathematics, but let's go. 600,000. Are you good at mathematics? Help me out. You give me the information. You can leave me a comment and you tell me how much money is in this. Okay? But I think there's a lot of money. So 60 kilos of gold, but $600,000 per kilo. How much money is 60 kilos of gold per $600,000 per kilo? You make the equation, but for me, it's a big amount of money. That's a Powerball. They hit the jackpot. They hit the lotto, man, right away in the first one. But listen to this. I'm not inventing this. Guys, this guy is Eduardo Lemaitre. He's one of the most important historians of the city. He's telling you what did they find. I'm not just talking around and saying, "Oh, these guys became filthy rich right after they got here into Cartagena." Let me have some coffee. Colombian coffee for sure. You know, Colombian coffee is the finest of the world. Also, the Colombian emeralds. Yeah, you're thinking about the Colombian, Colombian women are beautiful. Yes, I know. We're the lucky guys of the planet. So check out. He found a porcupine of 60 kilos. There was a dort at the Sipagua. Yeah, that leave it there. And then he found 8 dogs, also of solid gold, with each one weighed 1 kilo and 360 grams. They were at the pueblo of Cornipacua. So this guy Pedro de Heredia turned filthy rich right away, and they asked the indigenous where did they get all this gold, and then the indigenous tribes tell them, you know what? There's a big cemetery of the Senu tribe very near here, and then they converted themselves into tomb raiders, and right there they got a huge amounts of gold for the crown of Spain, and they took away a lot of money. Then they started to need a lot of labor force, and then Cartagena became a slavery port. So that's another equation to how much money Cartagena started to move around the Caribbean. The pirates took notice of this thing. You can imagine all the pirates, because one of the things I tell people, and you're going to tell me if I'm right or if I'm wrong. But one of the things that I tell people right away is that, do you know anyone as gossipy as the sailors? The sailors are the most gossipy people. But you add to that the sailors came to a city where there was gold all around, and that the Spanish that lived over here and that they became in tomb raiders were totally rich. Like each one of the conquistadores that came over here, they turned millionaire right away. Guys, millionaires. I'm telling you. Like I don't know, the cook of the ship that came over here to Cartagena, he went back to Spain, or he stayed here with, you know that? What is that? When you say that you have a lot of money, man. They had all that dough. They had que tenía mucha plata, ¿sí o no? Mucha plata consiguieron los españoles. Here's Brian Camilo trying to understand everything I'm saying. But I know you're understanding and you're having all of this. They found the sepulcros del Senu, and they found a lot of money around. This is what the historian Eduardo Lemaitre tells in this incredible book. To get this book is so difficult. So I'm trying to give it to you like the information it has. Look at this. Los sepulcros del Sinú. El botín recogido pacíficamente por Heredia, que algunos cronistas hacen subir a 1,500,000 de pesos oro, fue cuantiosísimo. Y como dato curioso, se anota que mientras a los soldados de Pizarro en el Perú no les tocó en los repartos de los tesoros de Atahualpa más que 4,000 ducados, y a los de Hernán Cortés en México unos 1,000, a los del fundador de Cartagena, sacada la parte del rey, llamada el Quinto Real, les correspondió un dividendo de 6,000 ducados. These guys made all the money. They got more money than the Spanish that went to Peru and to get all the money from the Inca, from Atahualpa, and also the guy that went to the treasurer of Montezuma. They won more money in one shot. They didn't have even to go to the mine. They didn't have even to kill people, because this was people that it was buried in their cemeteries, because the Colombian tribes used to bury it in their cemeteries. What do I have here? Yeah, let me show it to me. Okay, perfect. Okay, I'm getting here some information. I don't know. I thought they were sending me how much money did we have. Thanks for subscribing to our channel. Make the subscription happen, and let's go on live. So Cartagena becomes also an African slavery port. So being an African slavery port moved a lot of money, as you may know. Terrible, and a lot of injustice and a lot of social unrest, because many of these African slave people, they were brought from like Central Africa by Portuguese, mm, African slavery traders, and they organized in a way. Some of them escaped from their masters and founded like African villages here in the territory of what is today Colombia. At the same time, like in the 16 after 1610 came St. Peter Claver, and he's very important here in the story of Cartagena because he was from Catalonia, and he was a Jesuit priest. When he came over here to Cartagena, uh, he got in touch with another a Dominic priest called Alonso Garcia, and he was very interested in how well treating to the African slaves that came over here. So he declared himself to be the slave of the slaves, el esclavo de los esclavos, and he's right now a saint, a holy saint of the of the Catholic Church. And but you know what? I tell my travelers and the people that want to know a little bit more about St. Peter Claver that if you could compare St. Peter Claver with another someone from the 20th century, like Martin Luther King or like Mother Teresa of Calcutta, for sure, St. Peter Claver will be on. Is not the same stature, like the same height. I think higher than them. He was overworked over his faith. He did even he did got the right for the Sundays to be free for the enslaved people. Can you imagine that in those times? He even confessed first the Africans than the white people. But the white people did know, the Spanish did know that San Pedro Claver was a saint. They felt him like he walked in sanctity, like he was a very caregiver of the African people that came here as slave people. So St. Peter Claver turned to be the enslaved of the slaves here in Cartagena de Indias, and you should know more about the history of Cartagena with him. Now we go with this, the father of the nation, Simón José de la Trinidad Ponte y Tres Bolívar Ponte y Tres Palacios, the general of generals, the number one of the independence of Colombia, Venezuela, Ecuador, Peru, Bolivia, and also from Panama, because Panama also was from Colombia till 1903 and from the Nueva Granada. Simón Bolívar, the general, came over here to Cartagena, and Cartagena gave all the honors to him as a general. They give him even some troops and guns to go over there to fight the realists, the realistas, back there in what is today Venezuela. And then Bolivar also got in trouble with Cartagena before 1819, and then before what the Spanish call La Reconquista. But you can see here in the main plaza of Cartagena, the Parque Bolivar, a very fine statue of the glorious general, of the man that is dressed in glory every time, and that we Colombians give them all the best, always, all the respect, and everything for Simón Bolívar, el padre de la patria, the father of the nation. Muchas gracias, Libertador. La Inquisición Española también, the Spanish Inquisition was also over here. If we will be speaking in English, like we will be in trouble, or right now, many things that could be said right now. But remember, the Spanish Inquisition was not only about religious things, about religion, was more than a political thing in which the Spanish kings and queens like needed for their purposes. So think of the Spanish Inquisition like the Gestapo in the times of the Nazi regime in Germany. This is the Castillo de San Felipe de Barajas, one of the finest fortifications in the Caribbean. It's in the Colombian Caribbean here in Cartagena. And you know what? It's a mountain that is totally vested in stone, in rocks. And in 1740, there was a big battle that we speak Spanish because what happened in this fantastic fortification. Because in 1740, the British, the King George II sent a big expeditionary force, a big invasive force. They say more than 30,000 troops over here to trying to overtake Cartagena. And you know what? They did not overtake Cartagena. And Blas de Leso, the general of the armies of the Spanish armies, and also the Virrey, the Viceroy Samanu, they orchestrated very well defense of the unexpugnable Cartagena de Indias. This is not on the history books of Anglo-Saxon history books because George II ordered the British historians to take this battle out of the records. But from here, from Cartagena, we can tell you it is real. The English Armada lost the grip of the Caribbean right here in Cartagena, and they couldn't overtake the Spanish from here, from Cartagena. Years after, they would orchestrate with Simon Bolivar, that we were talking to him before, to take this guy out. This is Pablo Morillo. You know, the Spanish, in 1810, we got an early independence. And then in 1814, after the Napoleonic Wars and everything that happened in Spain, because they were fighting against the French that had invaded Spain, and then the French had to go because Napoleon started to lose, and the British helped the Spanish with the Duke of Wellington with their armada in Spain, and well, kind of they had some togetherness like between everybody like there, and then the Spanish sent here Pablo Morillo, El Pacificador, the pacifier. Can you imagine with that nickname? He was in a sweetheart. So was a very bloodthirsty guy that we had to fight him to win the independence finally in 1819. And then in 1822, here in the waters of Cartagena, with this general, a black admiral called Jose Padilla. You see it says Prudencio, but Prudencio was his nickname. He was everything but prudent. He was a crazy guy, a crazy admiral. He was trained by the Spanish Armada, but he knew all the tricks of the Spanish Armada, how to do everything. Jose Prudencio Padilla, 1822, here in the Noche de San Juan, the night of San Juan, he won the battle against the Spanish Armada, and then he threw the Spanish away from here, and then they had to accept that we Colombians had a new republic called La República de la Nueva Granada, which then turned into Colombia, the Republic of Colombia, because of this guy, 4 times president of Colombia, called Rafael Núñez, who also lived over here, and who also built a very big, nice neighborhood called El Cabrero, and who married in the second time with Soledad Roman, one of the top ladies of Cartagena de Indias. Fernando II, King of Spain, very important for Cartagena. Because of him, the walls of Cartagena were erected. And John Paul II, one of the most finest visitors that we have had in the city, also as Francisco, another pope that has visited Cartagena de Indias. This is Show Tour Live Media. My name is Nestor Melendez, Hope you had a great time. We will keep on talking about history, and we will keep on giving you some information about Cartagena, always based on books, not talking about anything crap, everything telling you, hopefully, many things that you got to know about Cartagena. Remember to subscribe. Come on, guys. Give me a subscription if you haven't been subscribed. Subscribe to Colombian Tours and get us growing. We're very near to the 1,000 subscribers mark. So it will be a pleasure for us to keep on going and to keep you inviting you to come to Colombia, to come to Cartagena. And if you would like to have a private tours with us, we will be really, it will be a pleasure for us just to attend you here in Cartagena de Indias or all across Colombia. I just came back from Santa Marta, came back from La Guajira, and also I'm a specialist in Bogota because Bogota is the city where I was born and also lived many years of my life. So, but I really like Colombia and I really want you to invite you to Colombia and to travel to my country, Colombia. My name is Nestor Melendez from Colombian Tours with the production of Estefania Melendez and Brian Camilo. See you next time. Bye. Love you. Come to Colombia.